I get the opportunity to welcome our first guest presenter on today's live broadcast. She is a best-selling author, an international speaker, and a sought-after television and radio personality. She's been featured on CNN, Fox Business News. She's been in Success and Entrepreneur magazines and named by Forbes as a top small business influencer. She's consulted with Google and other thought leaders on growth strategies, productivity, and current trends. She loves sharing people how to transform their lives, their bodies, relationships, and their bank accounts. Whether you hang around her for her tough love, her hysterical, no filters humor, or her biggest Texas heart, she'll inspire you to help make a plan to be more productive and more profitable without sacrificing your priorities. So please welcome to the call our speaker, Carrie Wilkerson. Carrie, thank you so much for joining us today. And I was thinking the last time I saw you, we were sharing a rushed cab ride back to the airport in San Diego after an event. So glad to have you with us today. And how the heck are you doing?
I'm doing great, and we are behind the scenes trying to figure out video. So I know your tech people are on that, but they'll just have to listen for a minute while I figure that out. And yeah, Mike and I were madly dashing to catch a flight after an event, and in the course of the conversation found out we had several mutual friends. So it's a small world, and I love that. And now we're kind of in a cab again, or maybe we're just all in the same boat. There we are. Look at there. Look how we did that. So now we're just kind of all in the same boat, are we not? This period of time, you guys, in history is unprecedented. We've not been here before. Your company has not been here before. You have not been here before. Our educational system has not been here before, and it is what it is, and we have to talk about it. And I just watched a few weeks ago the new Mr. Rogers movie with Tom Hanks, and I love what he says at the end. He says, if it's mentionable, it's manageable. Write that down. If it's mentionable, it's manageable. Sometimes I think we want to avoid the talk of unpleasant things, or avoid the talk of crisis, or avoid because we think it might go away. Well, I'm here to tell you this is not going away, and we're going to keep doing business anyway. We're going to stay in motion anyway. We're going to keep functioning and grabbing a hold of the best part of the human spirit anyway. That's what we're going to do. And the reason that I'm here to talk to you today, I know we would all rather be in a stadium of 40 to 50,000 people with all the energy and the hype, but true Young Living form, true entrepreneur form, true go-getter fashion, we are making it happen anyway, while also complying with what's healthy and best for us as a nation, as a country, as a world, as a global issue right now. And so what I want to talk to you is your biggest superpower right now probably is something different than I would have said 6 weeks ago, because we've pivoted. And what I want to talk to you right now, first of all, let me tell you, I've been working with small business owners for 21 years. And I've worked with small business owners and my own small business through Y2K, 9/11, the recession of 2008, all of that. And this is different. This is a little different, because this is all of those things plus a little bit of grief and a little bit of fear. And so you might be tempted to panic, and I want to encourage you to pivot instead. You might be tempted to hide out, but I'm going to encourage you to keep moving and stay in motion. It may look a little different. We've all had a lot of extra responsibilities added to us with kids home and all those kind of things. But I want to encourage you, but you need to know this while you're listening to me. You need to know that we're touched too. Sometimes when you're listening to experts or speakers, you say, well, that's fine for her to say her income has not suffered. Guys, I'm a full-time keynote speaker. 100% of keynote speaking and events are not happening right now. I coach and consult with small business owners. They are in hibernation, a lot of them right now. So yes, I've been very affected. You say, well, the virus hasn't touched you yet. My 24-year-old son is in quarantine because his sweet mate is in the hospital And so, yes, we've been touched and we've been hit. But here's what I want us to talk about is your biggest superpower right this very minute. And that superpower is going to be empathy. Empathy. All right. I have really fancy visuals today, right? Empathy. Now, first, though, I want to tell you that empathy is different than sympathy. Okay, empathy is different than sympathy. Let me tell you, sympathy is a shared feeling, like when you can feel sad for somebody, pat them and say, I'm so sorry for how you're feeling, right? Like when somebody you know is going through a funeral situation or a loss, or you're sad for them, you have that feeling for them or concern for them. Empathy is different and deeper and stronger. And this is what I want you to write in all caps: empathy. Empathy is greater than sympathy. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in the place of another and understand. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in the place of another and understand. Why does that matter right now? That matters right now because we cannot stop doing business. We cannot stop sharing what we know helps. Those of you that were at the Silver Retreat when I spoke, I told you we have an obligation to share. If we know we can help fix their hurt or help make them feel better, if we know we can alleviate stress or depression or financial strain, we have an obligation to share, and we still do. But it has to be based from empathy and not opportunism. It has to come from a different part of your heart where you're putting yourself in their shoes. You need to have empathy for your company when they're dealing with all these tech things. They have never had convention online before. They've never had to switch everything from live to virtual and pivot at a moment's notice while dealing with CDC regulations and all those other things. You have to have empathy for your company, empathy for your kids and the losses that they're feeling, empathy for teachers as they're reinventing. It's really a natural response for us to only look at how it affects us. Like, I wish those teachers would work faster on that. I wish the company would do better on that. Wish my customers wouldn't curl up in a hedgehog ball like that. Or my team, I wish they would show up. But what we need to do is get out of here, move out into here, and empathy is the name of life right now. Maybe forever for you. Empathy, put yourself in their shoes. And here's what I'm talking about. Okay, so empathy, got the F3. Empathy F3 is what I'm calling this. You can see that. I know. It's impressive handwriting and impressive graphics, specially trained on that. Not really. Okay, so empathy F3 means we have empathy right now in their fears. Empathy right now in their fears. They have a fear of being sick. They have a fear of their economy. They have a fear of loss. I would say maybe their fear and their grief. Let's make sure we don't dismiss other people's grief, whether it's somebody with a senior who doesn't get to graduate or have a prom, or whether it's a 16-year-old that doesn't get a sweet 16, or whether it's someone that's had to delay their wedding or no baby shower or whatever that looks like. That doesn't make their grief small just because it's not important to you. We have to learn to sit among the grieving and understand their fears. Okay, don't be dismissive. This is not the time to bully people past their fears or shame them for their fears. You have to understand. I can understand you might be feeling. I understand that there is uncertainty. This is with your team too, guys. Your team, your people in your VIP groups, anybody that you're coming across with, you have to understand, empathize, and speak this language. You can't keep moving like it's not happening. You have to acknowledge it and address it, or they think you don't understand them. And nobody wants to do business with somebody that doesn't understand them, right? So you have to have empathy for their fears and what they're going through. It doesn't mean you have to wallow in it. It doesn't mean you have to talk about it endlessly, but you have to acknowledge it. And your emails or your social media posts or your videos, you have to be empathetic. You cannot say, this is all silly. Everybody needs not to panic. We need to just push through and hit our goals on the other end. You're going to alienate some people. Have some empathy. Put yourself in their shoes with their fears. Their fears are going to be different than yours probably. Okay, the other thing you need to address is empathy about their finances. Okay, empathy about their finances, meaning they might be nervous about spending. So yes, this is absolutely a time to talk to them about how they can save money. They might be, you might need to have empathy about the fact that somebody's lost a job. If it's a team member, empathy about how this is changing the structure of how they're getting paid. Or maybe this opens the conversation to, this is also how you can get paid for sharing, even during a time like this. I will pause for a moment and say that times like right now is when your industry is designed to shine. Don't curl up in a ball and hide. You're shipping, you're serving, you're providing goods and services and helpful things for people right now, whether it's your thieves or whether it's your lavender. Those probably should be your best bundle right now, or those two things, because they address both ends, right? So I would say you need to empathize with the finances, show them how they can earn money, show them how they can save money, and understand what they're going through. It's not a time to say, well, this isn't something you need to be sparing any money on because we can't trust the medical system right now. Again, not with the bullying, not with the pushing, but we have to empathize. We have to what? We have to step into their shoes right now. And many of them have financial woes and financial nervousness. However, listen up. People are still spending money. Money is moving around the planet. Whether or not you get any of that wallet share depends on your level of empathy and your level of visibility. If you go hide, if you disappear, you become dispensable. Write it down. If you disappear, you become dispensable. You can show up and serve in a really powerful, empathetic, heart-centered, caring, healing way. It's your time to shine. Your company was built for this. All right. So you have to have empathy about their finances. And we can't help but serve if we're helping them with their fears, if we're helping them with their finances. And you can probably guess what the last one is. Maybe not. Fitness. I don't mean working out. I mean wellness. Take a picture of this screen, write down this screen, share it with your teams, reteach this to your teams, whatever you need to do. But listen, we talked about this at the Silver Retreat, that if you know you have a solution, if you see someone in pain, in agony, in emotional unwellness, and you have something that can help, you have a responsibility to share. Put yourself in their shoes. I have a hard time sleeping too, and I have found that my ritual of this, that, plus lavender at night helps me recite my affirmations or meditate or do my prayers, and it enables me to fall asleep. Sleeplessness is the worst trigger for every other thing we deal with. I totally get that, right? You have to show empathy for their fitness, empathy for maybe they're dealing with kids homeschooling, or kids that are captive, or kids that are whatever, and they need something to help with attention, or they need something to help with their neurology. This is your time to say, I'm going to put myself in your shoes, and may I share something with you that I feel like would really help. If we were experiencing that, this is what I would recommend for my child, for my family, for my situation. You have to put yourself in their shoes. I know I've said it 5 times, but I want to make sure that you're listening. We have to not just feel sad for them or feel sorry for them. Ready? We have to feel with them, and we have to fill, F-I-L-L, their shoes. And then you have to focus on, am I having empathy for the fears they might be having and not dismissive? Am I having empathy about their financial situation and what they might be scared of or experiencing? My husband is a financial planner, and his work right now is 100% dealing with older people who have just taken huge hits in the stock market. It's a lot of sad, a lot of fear right now. And he could get on the phone and bluster and guff and say, you know what, just ride it out, just hang in there, the market will recover. Or he can say, I understand that at 68 years old, taking that hit to your account has got to be scary. Let's look at this and let's see what solutions we can come up with. Do you see the difference? This is what we need to do. We need to, more now than any time in our culture's history, anytime, no matter what country you're watching from, no matter what country you're doing business in, none of us is going to be untouched by this. And you have to step into their shoes and operate understanding their fear and not driven by yours, not driven by your panic, not driven by that. So empathy is the number one thing. Now, I would add that maybe a fourth empathy would be for yourself. You need to show yourself some grace. You need to understand we've not been here before. And you also need to set yourself some minimum expectations. What do I mean by that? I mean, minimum expectations mean every day I'm at least going to. Every day I'm at least going to get up, put some real clothes on, for the love. Do everybody a favor, put some real clothes on. I'm at least going to show up in my VIP group, or I'm at least going to do one social media post, or I'm at least going to diffuse this and reach out to this. I'm at least going to do these, and then I'm going to celebrate and give myself grace and focus on my family the rest of the day. Now, if you're having a good flow day, a good high energy day, a really ambitious feeling day, then you can do more and serve more and reach out more. But you also have to have some empathy for yourself and recognize your fears and recognize your financial situation and your fitness and take care of you while you are serving others. So that is the name of the game. Empathy, we cannot act like it doesn't exist. We cannot ignore what is going on. We don't have to dwell it, immerse in it, or waller in it, is what we would say in Texas. But we do have to acknowledge and put ourselves in the shoes of the people that we're serving. I'm seeing a lot of you doing this beautifully right now. I'm also seeing people curling up, diving under the covers and hiding right now. Nobody's spending, nobody's. Those are conclusions that you're drawing that are beliefs that are false. So you need to change your beliefs about that, tap into putting yourself in their shoes. And once you get over yourself and step into their shoes, then that takes your focus from here and enables you to focus there in serving other people. That will motivate you more. That will elevate your serotonin more. That will activate all your great brain chemistry, and it will keep you in motion even more. Diamonds, you guys have to lead the charge on this. Empathy with your teams, empathy with VIPs, empathy with the company as we all figure out these moving pieces. Leadership shines or shatters in times like this. Shines or shatters. And some of you, not just diamonds, but the whole company, some of you are being called to lead right now. This is your time. Leadership shows up. If you disappear, you become disposable. You become irrelevant. You can't do that. We have to keep showing up. Okay, so that's my message for you. Short, concise, I hope encouraging and empathetic. I am where you are. I have been where you are, and I get it. All of these points didn't come from a book. They came from my heart because it's where we are right now as a culture, as a country, as a community. And so now I'm going to thank you guys for having me. I always love being with you. Always love being with you. Love you. Mean it. Cannot wait to see you shine and lead, because I really believe this is a seeding time that's going to have amazing harvest in the next several weeks. And I think people are going to say the young living leaders showed up. They showed up. They showed off. They loved well. They served well. And they're going to be loyal to you for that. Thank you guys for having me. Talk soon.